All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here. Good to see you all again here on the Zoom. I want to start by thanking our players for their hard work this season. I'd like to thank Luke and his staff. Thank our performance health staff who had an extremely challenging year, especially with the COVID protocols. And thank my staff and the rest of basketball operations for the work they put in. Luke will continue to be our head coach. The team finished strong down the stretch. Obviously did not ultimately reach our goal, but he has the support of our players. We have a great working relationship, and while we both acknowledge that we have to become better in many areas, we built that trust, and we need the stability in this organization to ultimately take that next step. On the season, we're disappointed. Fan base deserves better, deserves the playoffs. We feel the frustration. We saw some good stretches, but ultimately we were too inconsistent, and we need to find more consistency. Defensively, goes without saying, has to be much improved. Luke and I recognize that. We're going to work together to improve that. Offensively, we made a jump, but I think this team can be a top 5 offense consistently. So we'll look for another jump on that end as well. We're going to do everything in our power to be aggressive and improve the team and ultimately get back to the playoffs. So with that, I'll take questions.
All right, we will start with James Ham.
Yeah, Monty, what went into the decision to bring Luke back, and just how difficult was that decision for you, knowing that this is your first year on the job and you kind of inherited him as a head coach?
Yeah, we look, Luke. There was a lot of positive this year. Certainly not enough. We understand that, but Luke and I talk every day. We have a great working relationship. He's got the support of the players. We found some success, especially late in the season, to get back into the play-in race. And ultimately, I felt that we could build on that, and that he's the coach who's going to get us back to the playoffs.
Sean Cunningham. Oh, James, you want to go back?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll go ahead and follow up. Is there something that stands out to you? I mean, we hear it all the time that a GM's going to want his guy. And is it possible that Luke is going to become your guy? I mean, clearly he's going to be your guy for a second season, but really, like, he can become that guy that you depend on and can be a partner with you long term.
Yeah, like I said, Luke, Luke and I came in from day one and forged, I think, a really great working relationship. And our guy is going to be the guy that gets us back to the playoffs. And I think Luke is going to be that guy.
Sean Cunningham.
Hey, Monty, just from the expectations that maybe you had when you first took the job, I guess I don't know if there's a barometer on it, but just how far short did this season come from meeting some of those expectations early on?
Yeah, I think, like I said, kind of coming in, one big goal of ours was to compete every night. I think we took a step in that direction, but ultimately the inconsistency was still there too much to reach our goal. We saw a lot of good, but ultimately we need to be more consistent with that effort. With our defense, with all those things to get where we want to go.
And then when you kind of look at just your challenge ahead of trying to help, Luke establish a winning culture and get, like you said, get him back to the playoffs, how much did the end of the season run maybe change initially your mindset going into this offseason, some of the decisions you have to make? Did you take much from that run that maybe ultimately impacts your decisions later on that may have been different from the maybe first part of the season?
Yeah, it was, it was certainly a better stretch towards the end. And with injuries, it was some different players doing that. It was good to see, some of our new additions help us there. Obviously, early in the year was a different set of players, but ultimately, we think the group that we have has the talent, and we'll continue to try to add to it.
Go Tony Harvey.
Hey, Monty, how you doing? I'm not trying to editorialize this or anything because I've been here for the last 20 years and the 15 years that this team that has not made the playoffs. So when I hear a GM say he is disappointed, I haven't heard that in the last decade and a half. So I just want let you know how significant that is. You probably are the first that I heard say that in a long time. But anyway, the trade that you made with the three, with Mo, DeLon, and Terrence was also significant, which I know myself I didn't really see coming in as far as their defensive prowess, their defensive skills. And I know that's probably was something that you had in the back of your mind when you made that decision to bring that in. Could you explain that? And the fact that maybe, if all three of them come back, that can be the core and the definition of this team going forward. Can you explain your thoughts process going in those particular three coming in and helping on the defensive end?
Yeah, we certainly, going into the deadline, we targeted defense players who could help us guard the ball on the perimeter, give us length, give us some really tenacity on that end. And I think we did see improvement in the second half, especially towards the end. The last 2 or 3 weeks of the year, we were a significantly improved defense. I think those three guys were certainly a big part of that.
And is that something that you're trying to establish going forward in the 2021-2022 season with this squad?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, like I said, we need to be significantly better on defense. Those three guys, I think, exemplified a lot of what we'll try to do on that end, and we'll continue to look for other players and continue to improve our current players as well to get our defense where it needs to be so we can get back to the postseason.
Jason Jones.
Hey, Monty, as you look at this off season and trying to get the team back into the playoffs, how are you going to prioritize your roster additions? Do you look to maybe go for a veteran instead of going through the draft? Have you really given that part of the process a lot of thought at this point?
Not in detail, but we continue. We'll be aggressive, whether it's really the three avenues, right? Draft, free agency, trade. We're going to continue to be aggressive and smart and looking for big or small ways that we can upgrade the team there. But I don't think we can cut any one of those off. We need all three at our disposal as we try to improve this and get to where we got to go.
And last offseason was a truncated one for everyone. You're also new on the job. Just how different are you and how more prepared do you feel going into this one, knowing the players, knowing the coach, and kind of knowing the landscape of what you got to do to improve the team? Yeah,
certainly last year coming in, short offseason was a bit crazy. Ultimately, we did feel prepared, but it will be nice to have a little more normal timeline this offseason for our staff. For the market to take shape and all that stuff. And so we're definitely looking forward to it. We're excited.
Marshall Harris.
Hey, Monty, it being your first, full off season on the job. I'm just curious, really, in terms of year one for you, season one, what have you learned maybe about this job and your role and this organization that's going to help prepare you better for this offseason than maybe the last one, or in year two, I should say?
Yeah. Certainly new coming in, but going through a year and, seeing and hearing and feeling the fans' excitement, passion, but also frustration. We share that. Ultimately that's our goal. Get back to the playoffs, stay there, have success. And we're going to, be aggressive in looking for ways to do that.
you talked a little bit about, prioritizing things this offseason. I'm just curious as to your approach with the players that you do have on the roster who are either restricted or unrestricted free agents. And how do you weigh that versus looking outside and bringing people in, given that you came off, as you described it, a disappointing season, not reaching your goal and measuring, how valuable a guy is maybe on your team right now, whether it's Rashawn Holmes or someone else versus what you can go outside and get.
Yeah, no, we really like what those guys brought to us this year. You mentioned Rashawn. We love Rashawn. Had a career year, integral part of our team, and so I won't go into all our details, but certainly what he brought, what some of the other guys brought, especially down the stretch, was instrumental, and we'll continue to look to them and others to get us back where we got to go.
Crystal Saltus.
Hello, Mr. McNair. First of all, thank you for your time. I would like to ask you, speaking about the second half of the season, how many steps in the right direction do you feel that you made as a team? And what would you like to maintain from that level?
Yeah, like I mentioned, I think our defensive improvement in the second half of the year is something that we're going to point to. It's still not enough. We got to be even better than that, but it was good to see some improvement on that end. And ultimately, we never want to have these long losing streaks, but to be able to come out of one after the deadline and make a run, make a push for the play-in, we ultimately fell short, but that's something that we'll look to build on as well.
And you mentioned the frustration about your team and the end of the season. How important for you is to turn that frustration into a motivation for the next season?
Yeah, that's what we got to do. That's what the players have to do. That's what our coaching staff has to do. That's what our front office staff has to do is, like I said, we feel and hear and see this frustration of the fans here, but we also see the passion and all we're trying to do is unlock that and really turn it into the excitement that this city's ready to explode with.
Jason Anderson.
Hi, Monty. Thanks for your time today, sir. You've touched on this quite a bit already, but your defensive rating this season was 30th. Those last 13 games, it was 9th. You did that with a lot of backups and trade deadline acquisitions. And I wonder if that raises concerns or what it says about the core that this organization has been building around that given even more time and togetherness, they haven't been able to put that together, but this collection of guys at the end of the season gets thrown together and is able to play good defense. What do you make of that?
No, I think we have the talent up and down the roster to be a significantly better defense. Guys who have been on the team the whole year or since the deadline, or even past the deadline. But I think all our guys, in talking with them, acknowledge we have to be better on that end. In talking with Luke, we acknowledge we have to get better on that end. And ultimately, it's up to us to do that. But I think the talent is there on the defensive end to have a better showing. Okay.
And then, to follow up on the question about Luke, there's been a lot of talk about the money he's owed over the next couple of years. And every organization has dealt with big losses. Did you have the freedom and was this a choice or was it a money decision or were you able to make a basketball decision that you wanted to bring Luke back?
Yeah, no, I understand that's kind of out there, but I've been given every resource I need to get this team back to the playoffs, and this was a basketball decision.
Matt George.
Hi, Monty. I think you might have spoken about this earlier in the season. I was hoping for a bit of clarification. There were many reports and many were under the impression that this season was initially intended to be like a gap year, and then the plan might have changed or adapted around the play-in push or around the deadline. Is that accurate? Did the plan change, or was the plan all along, no, we're trying to make the postseason no matter what?
Yeah, I don't know where the gap year term originated. It wasn't with us, but we wanted to use this year, like any year, to continue to build on the core, the foundation that's here, build some winning habits. We think we did some of that, certainly not enough. And this offseason and next year, we'll continue to do that and be aggressive in that way. But no, I don't know where the gap year term came from. But that's our goal.
Okay, go to Deuce.
Hey, Monty, you mentioned you believe Luke can be the guy that helps get you guys back to the postseason. What are the attributes that you see with him as a head coach that makes you believe that and makes you confident that he can help get you there?
Yeah, Deuce, you got a great setup there, man. You got the whole mic and everything.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, Luke, I think that Luke's strong points is his relationships with our players. He's got support from all of them. Our offense took a jump this year. We have a great working relationship. He's open-minded, and we also acknowledge together where we fell short this year and where we have to get better. And we're already working together on how to shore those things up and ultimately get back there. I think we're looking forward to doing that.
Good Deuce. Okay, go back to Sean Cunningham.
Yeah, Monty, I wanted to ask you were asked about the core a minute ago and as it pertains to defense. And I was just wondering, how far away do you feel this is? Do you feel like you've talked about wanting to keep flexibility and things of that nature, but do you feel like it's maybe a tweak here or there? Are you satisfied with the core that you have, or do you feel that you even have a core yet?
Yeah, Sean, I think, our expectation is to, like I said, compete every night and win. That's the expectation on a nightly basis. And ultimately we need to put enough wins together that we're in the postseason. But I think there's talent on this roster. We'll continue to look for ways to add to it. But, I think we saw plenty of signs this year that we can compete at the level needed. We just need to be more consistent.
Leo Bees.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. Hey, Monty, how are you? So I'm sure it was difficult to see your team go through 2 9-game losing streaks. Did you ever consider moving in a different direction from Luke when that second losing streak happened?
Yeah, it was a frustrating time during those losing streaks. I think coming out of losing streaks in the way we did was really good to see. We both acknowledge that we can't have 9-game losing streaks and expect to make the playoffs again. So that goes back to the consistency. And we continue to work together to head those off and have more of the 7 out of 9 winning streaks and things of that ilk as we, really look for a playoff push.
Go back to Jason Jones. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jason Jones for now. Sorry.
Yeah, Monty, just ask about Marvin. He had some good signs this season, but he had the injuries. The injury pop up again. First, just what went behind the decision to allow him to be away from the team while he recovered? And just secondly, what did you think about how he came back after that time?
Yeah, we always work with our players to have a plan in place. That was the plan we agreed to with Marvin. We were in constant communication, and he worked really hard to get back, and was really pleased to see not just his progress before the injury, but to come back and have a few huge games down the stretch to get us back into contention a little bit. So he's got a bright future ahead. Really excited for what we've seen from Marvin.
All right, a few more. Go back to Tony Harvey.
So, yeah, Monty. So the NCAA was a pretty wild season. And there's a lot of promising talent out there. Just want to get your thoughts of this year's draft class. You knocked it out the park with Tyrese Halliburton. I have to say that myself, and get your thoughts on him as well. But just want to see what's going to be the draft process and what should the local media expect.
Yeah, we're certainly starting and have already began throughout the college season. Seems like a deep draft, and we're excited to, use that pick to be aggressive and figure out a way to add another quality player to this team. So we're excited from what we see in the draft so far.
All right, Marshall Harris.
Monty, a moment ago, we heard you talking about consistency, and really that's been kind of a theme, the lack thereof, all season long. We heard Harrison Barnes speak in depth about, no more my bads. I guess accountability is a big thing. I'm just curious as to, in your conversations, whether it's Luke, the players, and their exit interviews, do you feel like the accountability has been there? Obviously, the players are saying it's not at the level it needs to be. It hasn't. But what can you do in your position and on down to make sure that that's there next season, whether it's losing streaks or just individual performances on a day-to-day basis? What's your, I guess, thoughts on that?
Yeah, there's certainly a personal accountability that we all need to have, but it certainly starts at the top as well, with myself, with Luke, and holding our staffs, the players, everybody accountable to the standards that we're trying to set here. And like I said, we did some of that, but it wasn't enough this year. So certainly needs to get better.
All right, two more. Matt George.
Monty, when we chatted with you at or your first press conference, you talked a lot about wanting to maintain flexibility and put yourself in a position to make aggressive moves. Is that still the plan going into this summer? Is that still as important as you expressed then, or have things changed with, I guess, just a full season of context?
Yeah. Same position. We have, I think, a lot of flexibility and optionality to continue to look for moves, big or small, to continue to push this thing in the right direction. So, we're excited for the off season, and the plan's the same.
All right, last one, Sean Cunningham.
Yeah, sorry, Monty. I just wanted to follow up on a previous question. I was hoping, can you shed some light a little bit on just maybe the decision why Marvin went home, and just kind of what the motivation was behind that?
Yeah, I don't want to get into those details. Just to say that we worked with Marvin and his team, his agent, for a plan that worked for him, and that's what we came up with. And we're excited to see how he came back strong, and really finished out the season with some big games. That was fun to see. So yeah, we're looking for more of that in the future.
Tony's the last one.
Yeah, I was trying to get this in the last question, Monty, if you don't mind. Talk about Tyrese Halliburton rookie season there, and it looked like he's definitely going to get stronger and better and more effective for this organization.
Yeah, we were really excited with Tyrese's rookie season, of course, but also in talking with him, he's hungry to get even better, get stronger, improve on offense, improve on defense, and but what he's brought to this team already is fantastic, and we're looking forward to even more of that in the future. Okay. All right, everyone, I just want to say thank you to all of you. I know it's been a tough year doing Zooms, not being able to be in the building, all that stuff. Thank you guys, and hope to see you all in person soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Monty.
Thanks, guys.